Okay, members and friends, this is how I cope with stress. That's only a fraction, right? There's more around the house. This is stuff, paperwork I have to work on, but I've got 2 events to do next week. I've got the Malcolm X chocolate milk party, back to school with Andre, and then I'm doing another one back to back within a couple of days after that because all my equipment's out, right? And, hold on. Yeah, it's to build in, this is my little corner I'm clearing out, remember? Is to build in community programs on site of a complex where low-income people live. And we're going to try and do a little fundraiser for on-site barbecues, on-site little food emergency hampers, and pest control, spiders and cockroaches and that type of thing. Because, you know, oftentimes these buildings have problems with that stuff. So, you know, maybe we'll buy some sticky tapes or something. Hold on. Okay, so Andre's not here right now, so I'm not worried about any of this because I've been doing a lot of yard work and I've been busy. And, you know, obviously I'm under a lot of stress, as you can see. I'm not embarrassed to say I'm under stress. My blackberries are done, this batch anyway. So I'm going to put those in jars. And then I'm going to do some canning. I want to can. I've been wanting to can for a long time. So I'm going to attempt some vegetables and some chicken. I'm going to try and make some pickles. And I'm going to do all this before Monday. I have to be done by Sunday. On top of I got to make some cake for the kids. Hold on. So yeah, I'm either having a nervous breakdown and I just don't know it. You know, my mother had nervous breakdowns. I've never had one. And, you know, I'm under a lot of stress, as you can see, so far, right? And that's not including the yard. But I've decided to take a week off from the yard and just focus on canning because I have to feed my family and the cost of food is very expensive. So, you know, you get chicken at 30% off or whatever, right? And I just think long term, you know, obviously not everything I'm going to buy is going to be brought home and then canned, right? Because I don't even have the proper storage for it. But you know, I'm going to have my youngest daughter help me tomorrow with canning. So, you know, it's life skills that she's learning. And, you know, if I'm successful at it, then obviously I'll do it some more, even if it was just once a month, a little thing, you know, a few things here and a few things there. And I'm under a lot of pressure, so I don't know why I decided to do this now, this week before Monday, as I have to go and pull out my canopies and my DJ equipment, and I got to get my mics out and my flags, and, you know, I got to hunt around for the children's cups, and I got to make cake and muffins because I can't afford to buy them, but I bought the flour and the eggs, and I can make cakes, so I'm going to try and make cakes between now and Monday, or muffins or something like that, as I'm canning, as I'm digging out all the equipment for the 2 events, as I'm working on my books, just starting to sort everything out into, you know, their accounts, and then I'm going to work on importing them onto this page here, these accounts. I have to come in and I have to, you know, do the HTML, right? I'm going to put here, right here. I'm going to add them in. So hopefully I'll have them in the next month or 2 after the events. That's my goal as I work on the income statements and the balance sheets. And then submit those with T2 forms to the federal government. And then we're getting 2 new board directors, quite possibly 3. There is another man coming to the next annual general meeting. He hasn't committed to becoming a board director, but there's 2 that I know of so far that have said they want to become board directors. And they're businessmen, so that's good. And, but anyway, this is all about my canning. So it's coping 102, you know, Ministry of Tears, obviously, right? Because I'm stressed out over Andre. I miss my grandson. My grandson should be home. I shouldn't have to be, you know, thinking about this stuff over here on this side of the wall and, you know, the criminal code and all this other crap, right? Because I already got enough on my plate. And if people can't see that and they want to just, you know, use my grandson as a tool to prevent the growth of my nonprofit, because that's the only thing that I can contribute this to. Yeah, this stuff here is surface. This can be cleared out. This has been cleared out before. But right now, you know, my grandson's not here. Who cares if I live in a garage, for crying out loud. I live in people's garages. 30 feet by 45 feet. That's my living. That's my life. That's my offices. I have more than one. Right? I have actually three. I have the nonprofit, I have my personal shit, and then I've got my sewing. My sewing has, back in the day, its own ledgers, but I couldn't keep up with the nonprofit ledgers, my sewing ledgers, and my personal receipts and bills, and, you know, I like to keep everything in order, right? I got shit back from 1999. I got shit back from the day they cut me off of fucking welfare in 2003. It will show on my bank statement, for crying out loud. I put them in a box, and you know how they say, save them for 7 years. Well, some of those boxes have been sitting there for 13 years. Anyway, we're going to try and accomplish something here over the next 5 days. And this is how you cope with the stress. And the reason I think I'm doing the canning is I know why I'm doing it. It's because as a mother, I always like to have food in my house in one way or another. My kids will be testament to that. And, you know, I'm thrifty. Obviously, I try to be thrifty, right? And no matter what happens, whether I lose the house or not in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months from now, because, you know, I feel like there are just people out there that just want to bankrupt me, right? At least I'm coming with a little bit of food to the next location. And if I don't take it with me, then my kids will have enough to eat when we have to cross that bridge. So for me, even though I'm under stress and I'm adding on more stress by adding on more work, in the end, it guarantees me a product that I can actually use and utilize when it's needed. And it provides protection for my family, right? So it's an odd time to be canning, you know, 7 days, 6, 5 days, or whatever it is before an event you're not even ready for. But, you know, at the end of the day, it produces a positive result. And if I can learn to can these things and teach my kids, then I know as a parent that when it comes their time and when they're struggling, they'll be able to draw back on that knowledge and be able to provide for their family by being thrifty. So on that note, I'm going to go start clearing out my kitchen. I will have to clear off this table because I have a lot of jars coming through in the next week. And you will see that between now and Sunday, this table might even be half full. And that's why I'm doing it. Because that makes me feel good. That makes me feel safe with my family to know that they've got a little bit of food to eat in times of being tough, right? And you know, that's what you want, right? That's what you want as a parent. So anyway, we're going to go on to canning, coping 101, Ministry of Tears, right? No matter what, you pull yourself up by your bootstraps and you keep on trying.